I guess one way to describe the underground tunnels to me would be like a subway, like going down in a subway, but without the train, like without the subway train aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you ever, may I ask, when you were a cast member and you were going to the park as a guest, did you use the tunnel to like go through and come up and be a guest? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, as a guest, but the problem with me is when I was there, I would never just go to the parks like with other cast member friends. It was always with
Right.
my husband who wasn't a cast
Yeah.
member.
So, yes.
So I did go backstage though because I did have my lanyard pass or whatever. But it would be like to go grab Subway or like, oh, they've got snacks right down under here. There's a vending machine with such and such, and it's exactly what I need. Because oh, that is one thing. They did have like random snack rooms,
Yes.
like throughout. Now that I'm thinking about it, because even over by the Aladdin ride, I remember I didn't have to go all the way back up to the mouth of the tunnel to go to this. There's a Subway and like a huge, ginormous cafeteria up at the mouth of the tunnel, which is like behind at the rear of Fantasyland. You could be in other areas of the park underground, and there would be like a mini cafeteria. So like, if I didn't want to pay Disney food prices, like what the
Right.
guests and the tourists were paying, I could go and pay real people prices downstairs. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just run downstairs and grab a couple of sodas. So that's what I would do. Go grab what I needed, and then come back up. Or like if I wanted Subway, you're at Disney, Subway's not sold to all the guests, but if I wanted a sub sandwich from Subway, I could do that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean?
I was just thinking too. Well, what the question I asked you, I was thinking about. We also worked obviously at the, at the Disney Grand Floridian Spa. So even though they were Disney employees, they were never, in the park. So I remember there was a good friend of ours who worked when she moved to Orlando to work for Disney. She was in retail and then came to the spa. So she was very familiar with the tunnels. But I remember we had another friend who was a spa manager who had never been through the tunnel. So obviously she was allowed there. She was a Disney employee. But it was neat to see someone else's first reaction to seeing the tunnels for the first time. Kind of like, I can't believe we just went here and walked upstairs and now we're in this area of the park. We just saved, 25 minutes. You know what I mean? From getting here to there, it's kind of like we said in the beginning, it was kind of overwhelming and really big, but you do get used to it really fast. So it was kind of neat to see someone else who was, obviously a Disney employee, but not in the parks, to see their reaction and, just.
I do remember that was very frustrating for me, knowing what I knew or that I had the ability to go under and do something faster. Yes. But not being able to because the people I was with in Disney couldn't. So I that was frustrating that they couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, so like with Michael, obviously that makes sense. But yeah, anytime I went to the park, it was with someone who, was a Disney cast member, even if they weren't obviously in entertainment with me. Since we worked at the spa, I had a lot of friends there, so they had their, identification and all of that. But yeah, it was neat to see their reaction to that experience being down there for the first time and how easy it is to get to all these places. And yeah, that was neat.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about like Backstage Epcot. I loved Backstage Epcot.
So for me, I mean, we'll say this all the time, how we love Epcot, and Epcot was like our favorite.
Is it your favorite too? It's not just me.
Oh, I thought we said that to each other many times. It's my favorite as a guest, and it was my favorite as a cast member. It's my favorite, all around. For me, it was just everything was so much easier because it wasn't on this big grand scale like the Magic Kingdom. So, getting your costume, getting everything you need, and then going over to that break room was just effortless and easy. It didn't feel like this big production and having to, like it was Magic Kingdom.
You didn't have to take the bus to get to the back. Like Magic Kingdom, you have to take a bus to get to the back of Magic Kingdom. Here, you just park your car and walk in.
So you didn't have to ride a bike at Animal Kingdom.
You didn't have to ride a bike. Comment below, anybody who works at Animal Kingdom, are the bikes?
Does that still even happen?
Yeah, are the bikes still there? Did they fix that issue? Like, what about people who couldn't ride? I think they did have a bus for people who couldn't ride bikes, but how inconvenient is
Had to have
that?
had some accommodation for someone. I'll never forget though, this just came to me. I remember the one time I did have to work at Animal Kingdom and I was so upset about it to begin with. And I ended up locking my keys in my car, Jennifer. So I finally get off this shift that I didn't even want to do to begin with. And I go back to my car and there are my keys in my car. I had to, oh, it was like the worst day ever. And then it was raining. Oh.
I wish you could have called me. I wish you could have called me. I would have rescued.
But we didn't like, it wasn't like you have your phone on you. It wasn't like
I know.
crazy, doesn't it? So I had to go all the way back to call to get some locksmith to come out and, take care of my car. But anyway, that's off. That just came to me.
No, the back of Epcot. So we would come in through a building like around the backside of Mexico, China-ish. There would be like so you would go through that building. You would actually pass through the cosmetology area. You would run into a bunch of other workers for the back of Epcot, all the internationals. The Mexican, the Germans, the English people, and you could hear all the different accents.
I loved it.
Yeah, I don't know if was it that there were plenty of American workers. It's just, I guess, did they park somewhere else? Or no, they parked did everybody enter through there? I mean, to get to the front of the park, did other people park elsewhere? I don't know where the Americans were. Why don't I remember Americans?
I know, that's a good, maybe if you're at World Showcase, you go somewhere else, but if you're that's a good, that's a question. I don't know. I only know what I did. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe because they had buses there. There was they would maybe take a bus to get to their location, but we never had to go to that bus stop because we were always going to the World Showcase, and which is probably why we were seeing all the internationals.
Right.
Did you go backstage China to go get food? Like me and the girls, when I used to do lunch or breakfast Norway, we would, because we had like a 2-hour break, it felt like, between Norway breakfast and then having
going to your country. I loved it.
So I know, great. So we would leave Norway and go backstage to China, which was right next door. Yeah, so we would go through the kitchen, which I think they disallowed that towards the end of my time there. But comment below if they still allow princesses to go backstage the kitchen in China. But we would go straight to the chef and be like, we would give them our order and they would give us this big discount, I want to say.
Yes.
It was like cheap food from the quick service China. And and that way we didn't have to go get undressed and everything and make yourself look normal. You could still stay in costume for the most part.
Right.
And I remember that, and being around all of the people speaking Chinese, and I don't remember Americans back in the kitchen at all. They really were from China.
Yes.
And I remember seeing the Chinese acrobats backstage practicing in the they used to get, there was a dance room in Backstage Epcot. Where am I thinking? I remember there was a place where the drummers from Japan, remember those Japanese drummers? You know where was it? It was where the base, where we would check in for the characters, the character base. There was a big, like a dance room type place back there.
I can't picture it.
It was in a dorm. I don't know. I had to go back there to do some audition or something for. They were trying to help me with my dancing. I think they really wanted me to do well. I just had 2 left feet. But I remember the Japanese drummers boom, 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 yeah, doing they would practice back there. I remember. Yeah, it was where the costuming building was. Comment below. If I'm wrong, people, let me know where it is. If you know what room I'm talking about, let me know. Yeah, so I remember that.
But for me, though, as much as I like Epcot and working there in entertainment on set, I had the best experience offset as well. Again, I don't know if it was just the energy of the international people that I really liked that, but in our break room for the Shoes, I felt like we were just treated like royalty. I mean, the character attendants would come in with these trays of these really nice beverages and these really nice glasses, and always have like treats that they had from the front. And I just, again, I remember feeling like treated like royalty there, and just really taken care of. And they always made sure that you had everything that you needed. And not that I didn't feel that way at Magic Kingdom. It was almost like you needed something, go ask for it. But like this was everything. I felt like they came to you. Like the attendant was like, let's take care of these girls. And I just loved it.
Yes, those were the better attendants, the best attendants. Or no, except with the exception of Tabitha. Tabitha, you're my girl. The better attendants. Tabitha wasn't gonna go get me my drinks on a tray like the Epcot people would. Love you, Tabitha. But no, they would, because I always wanted a Diet Coke for breakfast every morning, because Jasmine had to show her belly back then. So like I didn't want to have like what is it? A belly, pregnant food belly or whatever. I didn't want that in the morning, so I just wanted to have my Diet Coke would like get me mentally like through the sets, and then I would eat like around 11 o'clock would be my breakfast, you know, when I wasn't having to see people for a while, because we would have that 2-hour break. So then I would eat at the beginning of the 2 hours, and then my stomach could go back to small, I guess, you know. They would bring you what you needed on a platter, and sometimes they would bring that school bread, or you could like take orders or something.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like I mean, it was just brought to you. You could, I mean, if you asked for it, I don't know. It's like if you asked for it, like there isn't, I just remember being very taken care of there, and you just felt so good.
Yeah. Okay, what about like around when we would take the van to go around the countries to the world? What did you think about the Germans? Because you were performing Snow White in Germany. So
yes,
did you interact with them?
That wasn't very far to get to. Like I remember wanting to get there right away, even though you did have that really long break in between your last shift breakfast and before you had to go to your country. So that was like a really nice break. But yeah, it wasn't that far to go to. I remember the Germany break room, just to be, it looked like any of the other ones. It wasn't any more or less. Again, most of the time it was spent with Dobie, so usually there would be another character with me, so that was always fun because it does give you someone to talk to.
Now I feel like I went to your break room. Do you remember me visiting you in your break room? Because I remember seeing that break room, but I don't know why, and you're the only reason I could think that I would even go back there.
I love to think that happened, but I can't remember.
Like I think I feel like I went to pick you up and like you were gathering your things. Maybe I'm just wishing, I don't know, but
I'm loving this.
I feel like
memory.
I saw, because I remember a sofa and a simple room. Was there a blue floor carpet? What color was it? Red? I don't know.
You know what? I can't remember the detail like that. I don't know, but I'm loving the idea of it, and that we left together.
I feel like, I don't know why that would have happened. It was very close to, like you said, it was very close to where we needed to go. So the van, I don't know why I would have gone in there. I don't know.
But even at the end of the day, though, like when you had to, you know, take your costume off and you returned that, the whole process of everything was so much easier at Epcot as well. So again, it's like you got, like I mean, even though I was like single and my job was the only thing I had to worry about at that time in my life, I still was like in a rush to kind of get home. I wanted to be, you know, over, because I did have 2 jobs. So I did work 7 days a week when I, you know, lived out or worked at Disney. So I was anxious to get home. But yeah, the whole process of the backstage area was a lot more efficient, I thought, in Epcot. Maybe just because it is smaller, but so.
Okay, sorry, my kids are saying, hold on 1 second, pause.
Hi,
Ariana. Sorry Rachel's battery is running low, so we're going to start wrapping it up. But Rachel, did you want to add anything about Backstage Studios?
You know what? I think I was only in studios a handful of times. I don't have a lot to say about it, honestly, because I don't remember, truthfully.
Okay. What about Animal Kingdom Backstage? I know we talked about the buses to get there and stuff, but once you got to character base.
You know what I remember about Animal Kingdom that is contrary to what I said about Magic Kingdom is that there is a certain smell. Do you know what I'm talking about? Can you close your eyes and smell the Animal Kingdom backstage smell? Again, it's not like it's like overwhelmingly bad or that I can say it's like something. It's just like, but it's kind of like, you know, if you walk into McDonald's and you leave, you smell like McDonald's. It's like that's kind of how it was. Like when you leave, you smell like it.
I feel like it's the costumes.
But it's like, again, it's not like it's like a odor, bad, pungent, like, but
well, they
it's not
spray
good.
them.
Yeah, you would smell like it. Yeah. I'm sorry, I just don't have the best memories from Animal Kingdom. I don't.
I liked their cafeteria was the best out of everybody's Animal Kingdom cafeteria. It was huge.
Okay.
They had that giant salad bar. Did you ever eat there?
You know what? A lot of my experience with food and backstage, like I brought a lot of my own. So, I mean, I did go at Magic Kingdom, but I remember bringing my food most of the time.
That's so smart. I wish I would have done that. I was too lazy. You know, I lived like really far away,
Hmm.
so I don't know.
I would go to Publix and get my and get my lunch, and so I don't have a lot to comment on the backstage food.
All right. Did you want to wrap it up now, or?
Sure. I mean, if there's any more, like we kind of talked about, our broad experience backstage, for me, it's just another thing that's a very magical memory for me, because unless you're there, sometimes you can't really take something in unless you've been there. And so that's something that I hold very close to me about my experience and in its entirety. And I just, if I close my eyes, I can feel myself in that dress walking in the backstage, and all of the other cast members who aren't in entertainment get very excited to see you and say, "Hi, Snow White." And of course, I would say, hello back in my Snow White voice, and it would excite them so much. So backstage is where a lot of memories happen. I hold that so close to my heart. But yeah, if there's any specific questions that you have that we kind of didn't touch on, please, of course, we're always open to comments.
And thank you guys so much for watching. Rachel and I had so much fun filming with you, chatting with you guys, and we hope to see you again very soon.
Yes.
Bye, everyone.